Now, a lot of y'all have seen a lot of conversation in our community the last decade about building schools and how much it should cost and black leadership and things like that. Well, let me just tell you, I have a brother today that I have the honor of speaking with who represents really the epitome and the essence of everything great that we can be as black men, everything great that we could be as human beings. And his name is King Randall. And King Randall is the founder of the X program. Is that what
Yeah,
you call it?
the X for Boys program. Yes, sir.
X for Boys program, the X for Boys program, and he's also the founder of the Life Preparatory School for Boys, which is going to open up this spring. So I'd like to ask my brother, how you doing today, man?
I'm doing good, Dr. Boys. How you doing?
Doing very well, man. I'm so glad to have you. It's always a pleasure when we get a chance to talk.
Absolutely.
So yeah, man. So okay, so let's. I don't even know where to begin because I'm gonna tell you, I am pumped to talk to this brother. I feel like he's representing to the fullest in every single way and just doing a great job. And I'll just start with what was on my brain today. I saw you went to Yale University to speak. What was that all about?
Oh yeah, they saw some of the things that I've been doing, with the boys online. I went there yesterday and Saturday. Saturday I went to speak to a group there at Yale, the Seventh-day Adventist students. They brought me in because they wanted me to talk about, what I've been doing with the school, as well as we did a campus tour with two of my students that I brought from Albany, and that was their first flight and their first time ever being, in New York. So that was a beautiful experience for them. We flew into the city and we took the train to New Haven, Connecticut. And then yesterday I did an oil change workshop. I taught some of the students there at Yale how to change oil because most of them are known for their brains. They don't know how to work with their hands. So it was an interesting experience for that. They had a blast, and I donated some tools to one of the students there because I was telling them as a man, you need to have tools. Like you just never know when you need them. So I went and bought some brand new tools for them, and I showed them how to use them all, and I gifted them to them. So that was a beautiful experience to be able to go to Yale. Probably one of the most beautiful campuses I've ever seen in my life.
So, wait a minute, wait. So when they invited you to come up to Yale, what did they say that they wanted you to do in particular? Did they just say come up and do whatever you want to do, or did they say we need somebody to show our students how to change oil? Like what? Tell me about that. I'm real curious about that.
Yeah, well, they reached out to me, the Seventh-day Adventist Club, because they have like so many different clubs or whatever, and they saw what I was doing online. I think one of them reached out to me on LinkedIn, and they were just like, "We want you to come share your story, at Yale, and then come and do a workshop." So that's what I did. They wanted me to come teach some students how to change oil, and I came and shared my story on Saturday. And I also told them they had to include a tour of the school since I was bringing my students. So that's what we did. I mean, it was a beautiful experience. Yes, sir.
Man, that was really cool, man. When I saw you there, it seemed right to me, because I want everybody to really understand, the work you're doing is so important and it's unique and it's powerful. And first of all, let's start here. How old are you now?
I'm 22 now. Yes, sir.
So everybody, can y'all give like a digital round of applause for the fact that this brother is 22 and really taking the mantle of leadership? I hope y'all will recognize that. Some of y'all in here I know ain't been 22 since 1922. so y'all gotta respect that. Y'all gotta respect that because when I was 22, and I had the dreams and stuff of what I was trying to do, I talked to a guy that was like in his 40s, and he said something that I never forgot. He said you have to be as old as I am to understand how young you are.
Man, yep.
And that meant a lot to me. That stayed with me because I didn't get it. At 22, you feel old because you're like, well, I used to be 21, and then before that, I was 20. Now I'm 22, and the 40-year-olds seem like senior citizens. At least to me they did. So I was like, man, I gotta hurry up. I gotta do this, gotta do that. And he was like, man, just chill out. Like you're gonna be all right. Because the other thing too was, when I was 22, I hadn't figured it out. I knew I wanted to try to do some big things, but I was like confused, man. So much coming at you, so many things you're trying to do, so many things you can't fit. So let me so by the way, just I want to lay that out there so that I don't even want you even to pretend like you have it all figured out because number one, if you did act like you had it all figured out, I would know that you were lying because I don't think anybody does. But then two, but since I know that you're not a liar or an arrogant person, you don't even want to believe you have it all figured out at 22.
Oh,
right?
not at all. I tell
Right.
everybody, I'm not an adult, until age 25. That's
Mm.
scientifically speaking in the first place. And then I also have a circle of elders that I, consult with, including my grandfather, my uncles, people that helped raise me, my former and current stepfather, so I always consult them with all life decisions. I still get disciplined and things like that. So a lot of people see all the grand things, but I do have people helping me, make the decisions that I make, because I don't know everything. And every day I live, I realize I don't know nothing. So I just have to keep asking people, keep asking for guidance. And that's all the way until I turn 40 and 50. I still want somebody that I'm consulting with, somebody that I'm asking questions to, somebody to help me, guide me along the way. So
Yeah, and I think that's so important. Like anytime anybody acts like they know everything, that right there is a sign that you haven't really fully evolved. Because the more you learn, the more you realize how little you know, and
exactly.
leaning on that advice from other people. I mean, I was on the phone with Dr. Claude Anderson yesterday, and he was giving me insights into certain things, and it's just, and I like that. That's one thing I like about talking to you is, you know who you are, and I think that's awesome. But at the same time, you seem to really process information in a way that I can really respect. So let me ask you this, man. When you and I first met, you got a real hard time from Roland Martin. I remember that, and I didn't like that because, I mean, if you're 45, 50 years old, you ain't supposed to be fighting with no 21, 22-year-old. You know what I mean? And it seemed like it was all about the Democrat Republican stuff. How's that been going in terms of how do you identify politically? How's that been playing out for you? What's that been looking like for you?
Yeah, I tell everybody to practice dual domination, meaning you're going to practice utilizing both sides of the aisle to get what you need. So whoever's in office, we're going to utilize them to get exactly what we need for our community. So most people have seen me and understand that I will go to anywhere. I go to CPAC, I'll go talk to Candace Owens, I'll go talk to Dr. Umar, I go talk to whoever it is, wherever they are, politicians on both sides. I don't care. I'm going to talk to them anyways, because I want to figure out what can I do, or what can you guys help me with, to bring back to my community. And, since I've been able to build a bridge between both sides, and communicate with people on both sides who love the work, I've been able to get a lot of resources, just from everywhere, government, people in government, excuse me, and people just outside of, in different perspectives, different religions, etc. I go talk to everybody. I think you should have a universal tongue, and my work is not political. I just work with kids. I tell people that all the time. And people can't not love it, especially with teaching them, how to do different things. But yeah, I mean, it's just been a beautiful time, developing friendships from all walks of life and across the world. It's just been a beautiful thing, not putting myself in a box, not putting myself and saying I can't go talk to this person, can't go talk to that person. We're gonna go talk to everybody. We're gonna invite everybody to everything. We're gonna allow everybody to help. And as long as we see that they don't have any ulterior motives or anything like that, we're gonna allow people to assist. And that's what I believe in, allowing people to put their money where their mouth is. You say you about the community, okay, well, this is what I'm going to offer for you to do, and that's what I do. If you're in office, okay, well, we got this program that we have, and what can you do to help us? I don't care who's in office, white, black, Republican, or Democrat. I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to ask. So that's just something I believe in, talking to everybody. I remember Fred Hampton was killed at 21 because he was doing some of the same type of stuff, going to talk to everybody, didn't care who it was, and he was unifying everybody. That was the issue. So yeah, that's what I believe in. I don't have a particular political affiliation. I just simply gonna talk to whoever gonna help. That's what I believe in. So.
All right. Well, everybody who just came in, I'm speaking with King Randall. He is the founder of I want to say it right. The X. Say it for me so I don't say it wrong.
You good? The X for Boys program.
X for Boys program. Okay, I'm gonna write that down so I don't mess it up. Because I've always said the X School for Boys.
Yep.
And so that's not the actual school, everybody. The school is called the Life Preparatory School for Boys. And I'd like to learn about that. So tell me about the Life Preparatory School for Boys. What's the purpose?
Sure, absolutely. Well, I'll start with the X for Boys program so people can differentiate. So the X for Boys program was started in 2019 when I was 19 years old. I took 20 young men to the city of Atlanta, Georgia on a field trip there to the Center for African American History and the Center for Civil and Human Rights. I took them there, and the reason I started this organization was because many of the young men in Albany don't have any rehabilitation programs for juvenile offenders. There are no programs here except for online therapy that they only do for 3 months for 1 day a week, and I think that's not going to help with recidivism. I believe they needed more consistency. And that's what I started doing. I started it out of my house. I started teaching them how to work on cars, taught them how to change oil and brakes, taught them how to change ceiling fans and toilets, paint houses, welding, firearms training, how to grow your own food. This is what we did for our first and second year. Then I started housing some of the children at my house. I started boarding some of them, and discovering that a lot of them couldn't read and write was where I got the idea to start the school. So in 2 years' time, we've been raising money. We first went viral, and then we started raising money online. And then, we got to buy a resource center, which is where I'm sitting now in my office. And we have 40 acres of land that we purchased back in May of 2021. That's where we'll teach the boys how to fend, for themselves, grow their own food, live off the land. And then also we purchased our school, our 41,000 square foot school, basketball gym, 25 classrooms, cafeteria, etc. We purchased that back in November, and right now we're in the process of renovations. You can go on my social media pages and see everything that we've been doing as far as renovations. All of our bank statements are online. Everything you need to see from us financially, whatever, everything's there. Complete transparency from us, so everybody can see everything as far as what we're working on, our Amazon wish list, whatever. That's kind of where we've gone to since November, and we'll be opening September 2022, September 12th. And we'll have a grand opening banquet that Dr. Boyce must be at on September 10th. Okay. He'll be coming to tour the school this weekend, so I'm sure he'll post some pictures and things like that. But definitely that's what we have going on. But the idea for the school is to create men, to create protectors and providers for our community. I don't necessarily think there's anything wrong with the basic curriculum. It's all something wrong with how it's being taught. If you go to our local school systems or anywhere, kids are just doing anything they want because there are no rules and there is no discipline. Not to mention, I believe that boys and girls need to be taught separately, especially in this day and age. So a lot of the young men that I'm teaching, they come through the schools and they tell me about different experiences they're having. And the school is not also just for the boys, it's for teachers as well. We have to create a better environment for our teachers. Many teachers are pushing kids through. Many teachers are kind of just there and giving out worksheets, etc., because they're being cursed out all day. They're being physically abused, stuff being thrown at them, etc., and administration does nothing about it. But if a student says a teacher does something, then the teacher's all over the news. But they don't talk about how that teacher had been being harassed and assaulted, etc., for years at a time, and administration does nothing about it. So teachers don't even like teaching anymore because people misuse and abuse them. So I want to create a better environment for teachers. I want to create a better environment for students. It'll be a boarding school also. They have a strict schedule. I believe that habits develop character. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to develop habits from them. They're going to wake up at a certain time of the day, work out, eat at a certain time of the day, go have their classes at a certain time of the day, have free time, reading, etc., field trips, whatever. All this is going to be scheduled out because every person I know that makes a lot of money has some type of routine and schedule. So I want to help them develop those habits of giving the proper greeting of the day, walking a certain way, sitting up while you're eating your food, pulling your pants up, just all these different habits I want to create for them, and including having discipline and structure. Many kids love structure and discipline. I don't play the radio with any of my boys, and all of them, you never see them asking to go home. Even if they get disciplined during the day, they never ask to go home. They always wanting to stay with me. They're always wanting to stay around, no matter if they have to get disciplined every day or have to go do high knees and push-ups or whatever like that. They love it. They adore me, and I appreciate them. And I love on them from when they come in the program to when I may never see them again. For some of them, and some of them they've been in the program for the entire 3 years. And I tell people it's not a overnight program. Some of these kids, it took them 16, 17 years to get to where they are. So don't expect me to change them in a month or two. It's going to take a year or two for some of them, which it has. So some of them change quickly. Some of them take a while. But that's kind of like the main premise and idea of, what the Life Preparatory School will be all about. We just want to create, better men and protectors and providers for our community. And we want to recreate that masculine male, that true masculinity, not the toxic stuff, none of that stuff, what your granddaddy was taught, what I learned growing up, being able to change the ceiling fan and fend for yourself and pay bills and take care of your wife and children. That's what I believe in. So it's just, I'm a big traditionalist. That's how I was raised. I'm raised a country boy. So I'm pretty sure most people can get an idea of how I am. But that's what I believe in. So yeah, that's an idea for the Life Preparatory School for boys and what we'll be doing coming September 2022.
Well, I love it. I love it. Well, you know what? I'm a bias, and I believe that there's something about us more Southern men where we have certain value systems that I think are more built around family and the things you talk about. Like we get that. You know, my daddy grew up on a farm and his daddy grew up on a farm, and there's just a way of thinking that comes with that. That's very different from some of the stuff that you see out here. Some of the stuff you see out here is like laughter. It's like you're not a king of anything. You're just a clown. You know, the clown can't be the king. So I love that. But so by the way, everybody, if you could please hit the thumbs up button, share, subscribe if you haven't done it yet. This is drboystv.com, the home for intelligent Black people. I'm speaking with King Randall, the founder of the X for Boys program and also the Life Preparatory School for Boys. Now, let me ask you this. I already know how the people in our clique are thinking. They want to support. They want to be a part of this. They want to help out. Is there like a website or a portal people can go to make donations or anything like that?
Absolutely. You can go to the xforboys.org. Right now, we're directly raising funds for our renovations on our school. So if you go to our website, the xforboys.org, and go to the donate page, what can happen is also for people who want to see tangibles, because I believe in that, we have a full video of a full online tour of our school. I'm walking through the entire building with you guys and showing you everything that's there, from the gyms to the classrooms to everything that's wrong with the building, etc. I'm there walking you through it so you can see what's being done. On our Go Get Funding page, you can go there, see the video and everything we have listed out that we need for our building. So if you go click that more tab up there, Dr. Boyce.
Okay.
Yep, and go click the donate page. Yep. And there's our Amazon wish list. And then also you can click that renovation button. It'll take you straight to our Go Get Funding campaign, and it'll have everything listed that we need there for the building, for people who may want to donate services, what have you. And of course, if you go to my social media pages, you can go see everything that we've been doing as far as pressure washing, pulling old toilets out, pulling up flooring, whatever. We made sure to have all that on video for everybody to be able to see, because we want everybody to feel a part of the process of the school opening. So it's been a beautiful project that we've been working on. And the boys are excited about it. They've had a chance to work on their own school, so they'll have some type of pride in it. They'll be painting their own school, putting down flooring in their own school. So it's just something, that's going to create some type of pride in them. So that's what we've been doing right now. But it's just been a beautiful experience.
Oh, this is awesome, man. This is so cool. And I want everybody to know, as soon as this is done, I'm gonna go in here and make a donation for sure. And okay, it looks like they raised $55,000. So
well, if you look at the total amount under there, that's the total that's been raised on that platform. But of course, I told you I'm super transparent. That's how much we've raised. If you look right there under the 55, it says $132,000. That's how much we've raised all together. So we raised about $76,000 offline from people sending checks or whatever like that, and the $132,000 is the full amount that we've raised within I think the last month or two. I think it's the last month, if I'm not mistaken. But yes, that's what we've raised right now, and people still donating. And we're utilizing all of it right now, trying to get these floors done, put in carpet, get furniture, things like that. So our goal is $350,000. We're looking pretty good since we've raised so much so far, and so fast. People have just been, a huge blessing for us, and none of it's been government funded, no grants. It's just simple posting the work, showing people what we're doing, allowing people to come tour the school, allowing people to come see it. People like to see what's going on. So as long as we keep everything transparent and let everybody see what's going on, definitely, people will want to keep giving.
So so school's gonna be in Albany, Georgia? Is that accurate? Okay. And so what have you what feedback have you gotten in terms of people asking questions? Because when you talk about big projects, and what I like about what you're doing, and I just think it's really remarkable, is I love your level of transparency with it, and accountability in terms of saying this is where your money's going. And I hope everybody will acknowledge that, and acknowledge by supporting this, right? Because here's the deal. And I'd like to get your thoughts on any of this. And
Sure.
also, please, I'd love to hear about any critiques you want to answer about the project.
Yes,
but,
sir.
You got to, when you're building something like what you're building, what you're really developing is true liberation for the Black man. That's it. Or any type of man you allow into the school. I'm not gonna put any constraints on anything you're doing.
Yes, sir.
But you're giving true liberation to men. You're really, really elevating our families, really elevating our community, really doing the work. And I don't believe that America is a country that is interested in really supporting that. I just don't. I don't think government funding is going to do it. I don't think corporate dollars are going to do it, because what they'll do is they start putting in these little boxes. and start defining what you're allowed to do, what you're allowed to say, and all that. And
Mm-hmm.
what I like about you working with these boys, you're leading with love. Which is very important. Before you correct, you must connect. That's why they want to spit. That's why they love hanging around you, even when you're punishing them and making them do push-ups and all that. You know,
Mm-hmm.
because they know it's built on love. So the way you're funding this, I think, is extremely intelligent. And I love the fact that you're as independent as you could possibly be. And it doesn't mean you can't take money from different sources, but I like the idea that you're not beholden to anybody. I think that's the first step. So let me ask you this. Tell me about that process, and tell me just how it's felt in terms of dealing with just the volatility of the internet. People criticizing, a whole lot of people doing a lot of yapping and ain't building nothing. And you know what I'm talking about. Tell me what that's been like for you.
Yeah, well, I'll just start from the get-go, man. I started the program out of my house. I had just lost my job, and I had 20 kids at my house every day, teaching them, and light bills skyrocketing because they're going in and out the door, and it was having to buy water and feed them and stuff. It was a tough time, but how I funded that at the time was I cut hair. Me and my younger brother, he's 16 now, but we used to go paint houses. He's about to turn 17 now, but we used to go paint houses. We used to go fix cars. I mean, we did what we had to do to support the program. Whatever money I had to make to support those kids, that's what I did. Whatever parents wanted to help feed the boys, whatever, they had food stamps and stuff, so they used to help us, feed the boys or whatever. I mean, we made it work because the parents believed in me that much. I mean, what I was teaching their boys and the differences they were seeing in their boys just from this little tiny program out of my house. So fast forward from there, when I had to start housing them because of COVID, did the same thing. Me and those boys, we went and worked on a farm. I was still teaching them stuff every day. We would go get paid to go, fix people's lights and whatever. We would do all this types of stuff. And then I was able to get them some lawnmowing equipment, and we got some lawnmowing equipment with the trailer. Then somebody stole all of our equipment. So we've been through the ringer, trying to support the program, but I teach them about big boy faith. As long as you keep giving, you're going to keep receiving. So we never worried about any bad things that happen to us. Sure, we'll get down for a little bit, but we kept pushing. But yeah, fast forward to, I think it was October of 2020. We got invited to go to the White House. We went there, and that was a beautiful experience. Some of those boys, from the hood, ain't never been on no plane, ain't never did nothing, ain't never been in no nice hotel. We got a lot of flack because Donald Trump was there at the time, and they just like, oh, why you take the kids to Donald Trump White House? I'm like, or these kids are getting a chance to experience something that they never experienced before. Nobody didn't care about what he was talking about while we was there. We were just going to see the White House. It was a beautiful experience. And for some kids from Albany, Georgia, like from my small town, to get invited to go to the White House for doing something good, man, I mean, that was a great experience for us. I didn't care, but when we was there, it went nothing but love. It was just love from everybody. They loved what we was doing, etc. So we started from there, and then I went viral on Twitter one time, and then that's when we first started raising money. We started raising money on I think it was GoFundMe at the time. And at that time, I had no idea what a nonprofit was. Didn't know about LLC, none of that stuff. Somebody was just like, you need to make a GoFundMe so you can get this school started you're talking about. So I was like, all right, bet. So I made a GoFundMe account, and we raised like $20,000 like the first week. And then, so this is when I started building shopping. So, we looked for a few different buildings around our hometown, and one building fell through because we weren't able to raise the money in time. Then I approached our local school board about buying a school building that they had up for demolition. So we went through a full 8-month process with them, trying to buy that building. And then at the end of the contract, they put in there that that we couldn't operate a private or a charter school out of the location unless they taught the core curriculum. And I'm like, how y'all gonna put that in the deed? Like, they tried to put it in the deed. And I'm just like, well, that don't make no sense. So we're not going to buy this building. So we had a big shebang about that. And they lied on me in the newspaper. And my whole city drugged me for like 2 weeks straight on podcast and Facebook and Instagram. I mean, they was dragging me all through the mud like I was scamming people and stuff. I'm like, y'all literally have watched me work with these kids for the past 2 years. So I finally was able to go online, and I did a video, and I showed them all the emails that I had sent. I showed them what they tried to say the building went up for demolition. I showed them all them emails. I showed them everything that we lost in that full 8-month process. So people, shut up then, but nobody ain't going to apologize, of course.
They never do.
They never do. Then fast forward, I did an interview with Mr. Rowland back in March last year, and maybe about 2 weeks after the interview, I got a notification on my phone that Dr. Boyce Watkins was going live at like 2:30 in the morning. And and it had my name on it. And so when I woke up, my phone was like going off, ding, 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 or whatever. And I got on my Instagram, and I hadn't got like 40,000 followers like in a day. Like, and all these celebrities started reaching out. Rihanna hit me up, Layla Ali. Like, it was nuts. Like, for a long time, I did like 150 interviews like within a month span.
Whoa.
I'm talking about I was interviewing every day for people, little podcasts and all that stuff. I had no team or nothing. Like, so I called one of my friends, and I was like, listen, can you like handle a schedule or something? She was like, yeah, she graduated from UGA, so she's about to be our head mistress for the school. But she was like, I got it, I'll do it. Then my manager was like, it was all going bananas. Like, it was so much going on. But we raised money then. And you know, after the school system thing fell through, we decided to go ahead and buy our land. We bought our land $100,000 cash back in May of 2021 from the money we had raised. And then we still didn't have a building for our school, but we decided we were just going to get something small and just start from there. I didn't care to keep raising money without having any tangible, so I just went ahead and got us something. So I'm in a resource building right now. Our resource center is comprised of 3 small buildings. They ain't that big. They were considerably tiny in the projects or whatever, but it's a nice building. It was actually an old drywall company that was here, which is why everything's actually so nice here. They kept everything up. So we did that. We purchased these buildings to start our school in back in June of 2021. So we purchased these 3 buildings for $70,000 cash, and we were just gonna start here. 2 weeks later, my realtor calls me and she says, King, I have a school downtown for sale. And I'm like, what are you talking about? There is no schools downtown. I'm like, we don't have no schools downtown here in Albany. And she's like, yeah, it is. She was like, it's an old church with a big school attached to it. So I'm like, what are you talking about? She's like, it's the old Friendship Church. I'm like, well, I ran the pre-K there. I don't remember no school being there. So she was like, well, you got to come look at it. So I went and looked at it, and this is 41,000 square feet, 25 classrooms, basketball gym. I mean, the whole 9, chapel, teacher's lounge, a whole bunch of miscellaneous rooms, elevator. I mean, the whole 9. But I told her, I was like, oh, this is great, but we don't have any money. I'm like, we spent all our money on these, these buildings that we purchased. I said, we got 3 small buildings. We're just going to start there. And, maybe next time. She was like, no, you're going to go raise some money and you're going to buy this school because you need it. And I was like, I agree. But I was like, I can't. I said, I've exhausted like my time raising money. Like, it's been like a year and a half now. And, we need tangibles. We already said we purchased these 3 buildings. I can't go back and raise more money. So she was like, well, I don't know what to tell you. She said, but you better call some of your donors and figure something out, because she was not taking no for an answer. And because she'd been trying to help me find a building for the longest time, because she didn't sell us this building. So anyway, I went online, and I just jumped out on faith, and I went on Twitter. I didn't make a video. We didn't do any pictures. We didn't make a whole campaign out of it. I was just like, look, we need to raise $50,000 by Christmas. This was in October. I said, we need to raise $50,000 by Christmas to be able to get in the building, like just to be able to get in, because it'll be a mortgage on it. So I was like, we got to get in the building. We need to raise $50,000. So I posted it on Twitter, and we raised $50,000 in 36 hours. And it was amazing. And we closed on the building that next week, and now we have our school. And so ever since then, people have been helping us raise money, and for my boys to see all this, it's been beautiful, because they've watched me from my house, to arguing with people, to fighting folks and everything, all the way to having everything that we have now. And I'm only 22, and we did all that when I was 21. So I'm 22 now. But man, it's just been a beautiful experience for these boys to see, and for me to be able to be that example. And I've had a lot of hiccups in between then, just as a 22-year-old guy, look, women and whatever, hoopla or whatever. But all of my boys, know all of my mistakes. And, one thing I always try to get them to see is I want to tell you all about all the mistakes that I make, and try to make sure that you don't, make those same mistakes. So I'm completely open with them. They know things about me that nobody else will ever know or never find out, but I tell them these things because I want them to know it's always an open door policy here, so they've told me a lot of things that I will never say. We have our bond. And that's something I'm, really appreciative of, that we have, as a group. We can talk to each other about anything. We have private discussions, whatever. And I tell them everything, man. So nothing to ever be surprise to them, because I already told them, it's just something, that I love to have. But yeah, man, that's where we've come from now. We just been raising money to renovate now. Renovation's been kicking our butt. Getting that roof done, and the leaks, and the ceiling tiles, and the flooring, and the plumbing, and the whole nine. Gotta get the elevator fixed, gotta get flooring in there. The flooring is gonna cost us about $30,000. Then we gotta get the elevator fixed, which is gonna cost us about $15,000. Then we gotta get this fixed and that fixed and that fixed. But we're raising money, and people are helping us. And we also have stuff on our Amazon wish list, that will help us out also. So we don't have to necessarily raise money for some things. Like, I put our ceiling tiles online. We needed about like 400 ceiling tiles, and somebody went and bought them all for us. We needed new lights for our basketball gym. Somebody went and bought them all for us. We needed, rubber floor mats, for the school, and people bought all of those. So people have been helping us out. People bought all of our toilets for us, our paint for our building. So people have been helping, because I've been showing them what's going on. So this has been a beautiful thing. Just people feel like this is all a part of their process. And then we'll have a grand opening banquet on September 10th at the school, so people can come tour the building, come see what all we've done, have a big ribbon cutting. And then that Monday, we're going to open the school up, and we'll be head first.
Wow.
Yep.
I love it. How many students you going to have when you first start?
We're going to start with 50 students. The first year, we're going to do 56th grade boys. We've also submitted our petition to become a charter school. So originally, I didn't start off trying to do charter, because I thought that charter was a part of the school system. And it's not. The charter has its own system where you basically have your own curriculum that is funded by the charter school program. So we don't have to change anything that we're teaching. We're just going to get that funding so we could keep the program free for the students. And also take care of the building, mortgage, maintenance, etc. So right now, a lot of Democrats are fighting against charter schools for no apparent reason or whatever. But of course, they want to keep teaching you kids crazy stuff at these regular schools.
Well, we know there's a reason.
Yeah, of course, you're right.
It's not a reason that benefits us or benefits the kids. But please continue.
Absolutely not. That's why I encourage Black people to just kind of look at a lot of stuff that goes on, not just what the left side tells you, not just what the right side tells you, but just pay attention to stuff for yourself. But of course, we're going to open as a charter school next year if and when our application is approved. Then next year we'll do 6th through 8th. After that, we'll grow the school 1 grade per year. We want to grow those students out of the school. So they'll eventually graduate out of 12th grade from the Life Preparatory School for boys. Of course, in short, other plans, 2-3 years from now, we do plan to have other campuses. For our school. We do plan to expand to elementary soon, maybe in 2-3 years time. I do have more land that I want to purchase in the city of Albany to be able to build other campuses on for our high school campus as well as our elementary school campus, and just to have big campuses around the city, and of course expand across the state and across the United States eventually. So that's 5 to 10 years, 2 to 3 years time we plan to open the elementary school portion. So we got time, but we're gonna get all of our ducks in a row, make sure everything's okay, which is why we're only starting with 50 students to begin with. We just want to see what works, what doesn't. And I also plan to do subject days. I don't want to do like the traditional, like every subject every day. I want to do like maybe two subjects per day. Like let's do math and science, one day, like split the day in half. Like do half a day of math, half a day of science. Next day we do half a day of social studies, half a day of reading. So it helps with retainment. They have to retain the information, because I don't see them doing that in 45 minutes. Especially with the math and stuff that they're having trouble on. So that gives them time to spend like 6 hours or 4 hours or whatever on one subject trying to get the information. But I want to be an ever evolving school. If we don't see that working, we're just going to try something else. We don't see something working, we're going to try something else. We're going to keep it working, and whatever is working, we're going to leave it and develop it. And listen to the children and listen to the teachers, have the teachers reviewing each other, doing peer review studies, and stuff like that. Just making sure the school is always evolving and becoming better all the time, not sticking with the same curriculum and process we had 20 years ago if it ain't working no more clearly. So that's something that I want to, make sure is happening at our school.
All right. Well, everybody, in case you don't know who I'm speaking with King Randall, who is the founder of the X for Boys program. As you can hear and you can see, he's very passionate about what he's doing, and he's getting it done. He's doing it well. He's making it happen. He's succeeding. And also, if you want to support this, and I hope everybody will, go to the X School for Boys, the xforboys.org. The URL's on the screen, the xforboys.org. And I should just mention, I would not ask you all to do something I'm not willing to do myself. King Randall, when we first met, my wife and I made a donation. Just so you know, while we were speaking, I went to your page and I dropped another $500 in there. I know it's not a lot.
You.
But I
no worries, no worries. Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, so I could pay for half a toilet or something. I don't know how much, but still,
yes, sir, I appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. And I'm doing that because I want everybody to know that that you know I want to be the first one to jump in there, and I hope that people in chat can give me a verbal commitment. Give me a yes in the chat if you can go to that site right now, right after we're done, and go ahead and make a donation of your own. Maybe you don't want to match the 500 I put in there. That's fine. Whatever amount you can put in there. But if you got it like that, some of y'all have money. I know some of y'all got money. I know some of y'all are millionaires. We've had billionaires on this platform. Some of y'all got extra money that might be spent on other stuff. This is real. This is 100% real. What this brother is doing is 100% real. It is very solid. It is consistent with B1 values. That's why we're here, on this platform. I don't do a lot of interviews. I don't really do many interviews. So the fact that I'm bringing him here to talk to him today means I really believe in what he's doing. So if you can give me a yes in the chat for everybody who's thinking about doing it, I want to nudge you over that fence and get you to do it now. Make the move now. Go to that site. The URL's on the screen. He needs the money. He's raising the money, but the more we pour into this, the more success we'll have. I'll continuously update you all on what's going on with that. And also, I want to also mention something that he has going on this upcoming week, the I Am a Man March. And I'm going to participate in that. And there's going to be a lot of great people there. I saw the list. He brought together a lot of people in the community doing a lot of different things. And one area where all of us are unified is in support in what this brother's doing. And so actually, before I ask you about the I Am a Man March,
sure. Mm-hmm.
I want to, and actually what I'm going to do, everybody, I'm going to put that URL up in case you want to go make your donation now. Then we'll talk about the march as well. Okay. But I want to ask you, I want to ask you a question. Did you spoke at Yale this week? We talked about that. Mm-hmm. And do you know how Yale was founded?
They explained to us, I can't remember during the tour. They explained to us it was open before the United States was even made a thing. So they were founded before the United States. But I can't remember. I know they were saying there was a guy with the last name Yale who made a significant at that time would have been $1 billion donation to the campus at the time, and that's how they were able to start the school. This was back into the 1700s or whatever like that, but it would have been equivalent to some billions of dollars today or whatever, and he gave money to them at the time where they only owned land, and they were able to start developing from there. But yeah, somebody gave them money that was from England or whatever like that, and yeah, that's how they started it. From what they told me, of course, I didn't look deeper into it, but from what they said, that's how Yale University began.
Well, I don't know what the dollar value of what he gave was, but let me tell you what it says on the Yale website. Mm-hmm. It says that the school officially it started in the 1640s. It officially became Yale College in 1718 when it was renamed in honor of Welsh merchant Elihu Yale, who donated the proceeds from 9 bales of goods with 417 books and a portrait of King George. Now, maybe that's worth more than what it appears to me, but honestly, 417 books. A lot of us got 417 books. A portrait of King George. Sure, they have value, but it's a picture, right? 9 bales of goods. I don't know how big a bale is, but my point is on this is to say that and then before that there were some clergymen that kind of established Yale. Yep. So I brought that up because I want you to understand the importance of what you're doing. Most major institutions have humble beginnings. Yep. Right. So what you started in your house when you're moving the boys in your house, then you go to a small building. Now you got a bigger building. 10 years from now, you got campuses all around the country. It's you roll through $1 billion a year in revenue or more, right? That's what happens, right? You build and then you build on top of what you built. Next thing you know, you got something amazing. So I want everybody to understand this. This is where empires begin. Empires start with somebody that has, as he mentioned earlier, King Randall mentioned big boy faith, right? Yep. the big boy faith to go ahead, plant that seed, make that move, even when you don't feel ready. You know, he had the power of the black woman behind him who said, no, you might not feel ready, but God needs you to be ready, right? You don't do your best. You need to do what is required for you to fulfill the destiny that that God has put in front of you, right? So she pushed you to be the man that you needed to be, to fill the shoes that you had to fill, right? And I understand that feeling. Sometimes, you know, you got a size 10 foot and you're trying to fit a size 13 shoe.
Absolutely.
And the situation calls for us to stretch.
That's how I felt. Absolutely.
So that was a quick little point I wanted to make for everybody who's listening, is that your situation calls for you to stretch. And the difference between an average man and a great man, or a regular man and a king, is that the king challenges himself to stretch. He has good advisors around him that will stretch him, and he moves forward with that big boy faith to get the damn job done. Okay, so with that said, because he couldn't do any of this if he didn't have confidence, and also he couldn't do any of this if he didn't have people around him that have confidence in him. So I want to make that point so everybody gets that, so you can apply it to your life. Now let's talk about the march. I'll put the URL on the screen. So by the way, that's the URL, the xforboys.org. That's the right website. Is that correct? Okay, that's where you can go and support the school. I hope everybody will support as much as you can. Also, IamAManMarch.org. That's going to happen in Albany, Georgia this upcoming weekend. Tell us about the march and what's the purpose.
Sure, absolutely. Well, the I Am a Man March, I originally did back when I was 20 years old. I rebirthed it from where Dr. King was about to do the Poor People's Campaign. And they were going to take almost 1 million men to Washington of all different colors to go demand, money, basically. So because they were poor. And they believed that the government owed them some money. So that's what they were doing originally. And, Dr. King at that time had to go because he was bringing all men together, black, white, Hispanic, whatever. They didn't have a problem with them they did have a problem with him just with black people. But the moment he started to get everybody unified behind that one cause, it was an issue. He had to go. So I rebirthed that march back in 2020. I had about 400 men show up. That was just the first year, kind of put together a little thing I decided to do. We had the signs, we had our call to action, and it was a beautiful event. So this year, we're starting it back. We originally had to stop because of COVID, but we're starting it back this year. And I brought, so many minds together, conservatives, Republicans, Democrats, Christians, Muslims, whatever. I brought all these, men together just for us to sit down and have a conversation. Most men agree on most of the same fundamental principles. Being the head of household, taking care of your wife and children, taking care of your families, protecting and providing for your community. No matter what these agendas they give us, online, or what the algorithms try to make us disagree with each other, etc. I bring all these different men together and have these different conversations about generational wealth, about growing our own food, taking care of our bodies, Second Amendment, all that stuff. We want to have all these conversations, amongst men who may be of different backgrounds, and have them literally sit together and agree for a moment, because I believe that's what's going to happen, especially with the type of men, that I brought together. So, we have Brother Rizza Islam, have Dr. Boyce, Brother Ben X, Bryson Gray, Patriot J, a lot of these guys coming from, different backgrounds and etc. But all these guys are going to come together, and we're going to have some good conversation. And I'm excited about it, and then all the guys are excited to come tour the school because everybody, is behind our organization and what we've been doing. So definitely taking everybody to come tour the school so y'all can see these people in the actual location. So that way it gives more credibility, to the institution. So definitely want to bring all these people together who, have just, supported what I've done. And of course, we'll have the actual march on May the 1st. We're going to march with men just as a symbol of unity. It's not we're protesting for nothing. It's a symbol of unity. To show, on our social media pages. It's going to mess the algorithms up because everybody's from different sides of the aisle, different religious backgrounds, and all these people are together in one photo, and one video. It's going to be a beautiful thing. And of course, we'll have a few speakers. I have one woman speak every year at the march because I want a woman to come explain to men how important we are to them. Because we see a lot of, bashing against men on social media, etc. But I want to bring some strong women who are married, who have families, and come and talk to our men. So we're bringing Angela Stanton King this year. She's going to come talk to the men and keynote on that Sunday afterwards. I'll say a few words, and we'll give our call to action for all of our men in our different communities, and we're going to send everybody on their way, and we're going to go stronger for next year. We're going to follow up with as many men as we can to see what they're doing in their communities, what they brought back to their communities, how can they start something, because people always ask me all the time, how is it, what can they do? And I'm just like, if you can't help 100 people, help 5, help 1. You don't have to do anything spectacular. You don't have to start a school. You can just do something. If everybody decides to do something to make somebody smile, to make somebody's life easier, I think everywhere will be a better place. So that's something we all could do, to make something happen. But please visit IamAManMarch.org if you want to attend the convention. Everybody could come to. The march is preferred men only, but I can't ban women from marching. But maybe we'll section y'all off. But it's for men. The convention is for everybody. Anybody could come to the convention. But as far as the march is preferred men only. And if you want to register on IamAManMarch.org, that'll be cool. We also have the gold ticket dinner. We'll be eating with all the speakers. And we only have select people that get a gold ticket to be able to maybe talk to some of the speakers, get a chance to ask them questions or whatever like that. And I think it's going to be a beautiful experience, for everybody. I'm excited about it myself, just to see all these men, just in one place. I hadn't even seen it before in this generation. So I'm definitely excited to try and, push that agenda forward.
All right. I'm a manmarch.org. And what I'll say before we close down on the conversation is it's appropriate that your name is King. Because one thing a great king does is they have the ability to unify. The difference between Africa and China is that the Chinese had some really strong warrior leader kings that unified the whole country under one banner. One language, one everything. Not to say Africa didn't have its great warriors as well. We know this, but one of the challenges, if you look now, China's the strongest country on the planet because basically it's a continent that acts as a country. Africa is a continent with 57 countries, whereas China is one continent and one country pretty much. Yep. And so ultimately, you bringing people together is extraordinary. I support your leadership, and I want everybody I want it to be heard repeatedly that I got your back. And I don't care nothing about no rumors. I don't care nothing about no scandals. I don't care nothing about no nothing. They gonna throw all that at you. They're
not already started, man.
Yeah, that's what they do. That's what they do. I don't care. Loyalty is loyalty, and I'm not loyal to you as a human. I know human beings are flawed. Right. I'm loyal to you as a leader of a broader mission, right? And that's where. So that's why it's easy for me to look past the BS. I don't care who you dated or what little things somebody might have to say about you. I see what you're doing, right? That's what I care about. That's it. And I want everybody to pay attention to that. Stop getting caught up in, well, I heard 3 years ago him and his girlfriend got in an argument, and that I don't care. I don't care. This man is getting it done. So everybody who's listening, please take a moment, rally. I'm a manmarch.org. The march will be in Albany, Georgia, this upcoming weekend. I'll be there along with a lot of other great people. Also, if you want to, so if you want to buy a ticket and you can't even make it, maybe buy a ticket just to support. Buy a ticket that they can give to somebody else. And also, here's another URL for King Randall's overall fundraising initiative. I just gave my $500. I'm gonna give more. My wife and I will continuously be. We want to be on your donors list, so we're gonna keep coming back with the bread. Yes, and everybody else, I hope that you will go to that website. Give me a yes on the chat if you're gonna go support this brother. Don't just clap. Don't just say, "Ooh, that's so good." I need you all to be soldiers in his army because I don't need him doing this all by himself. The power of us and the power of we is unstoppable power. This is not about one person. It's about something much bigger. And I know King Randall gets it. So I want to say thank you, man. Thank you for coming by. Yes, super much respect to what you're doing. I would say I'm proud of you, but that almost sounds like I'm talking to you like you're a kid. But in my mind, you get old like me, and my kids are older than you. A couple of them are. It makes me feel like a proud father. But at the same time, man, I respect you as a man and as a fellow king, because you are getting it done. So God bless you, brother. Much respect.
I appreciate you so much. And, you know, for the people in the chat, asking 1,000 questions, because I see all the comments. We'll have a volunteer weekend again. We had a volunteer weekend previously. We had people come from all over the country to come help us for the weekend, paint and pull up floors and all that stuff. So we'll probably have another volunteer weekend for people to come and help us paint and put furniture in and come put some carpet down, and just for people who want to see the school. And of course, after the school actually opens, we'll have tour times where people can come do tours, and I'll have the boys give you a tour of the school. I won't be giving tours. I'll let the boys do it for you so you can hear from the actual students in the school. You'll still hear from me, but I want to make sure, you know, people get a chance to hear from the actual students in the school and how it's affecting and changing them, and, you know, just let them talk about their own school. So that's something I'm excited about. So people will get to see tangibles. They will get to see and touch the school. They will get to know that it's actually there. So ain't nothing crazy going on over here. Like I said, everything's online for you to see if you wish to see it and you wish to find it. So everything's transparent from us over here at the Extra Boys and Life Preparatory School. So.
All right. The xforboys.org. That's where you can go support. So everybody go over there right now and support this brother and what he's doing. And I'll keep you all posted on everything. And I want to say thank you so much to our guest, King Randall. Google him, follow him, support all these things. Also, I'll be there this week at the I'm a Man March in Albany, Georgia. It's IamAManMarch.org if you want to come down and hang out with us. And so God bless everybody. Please have a great day. Hit the thumbs up, share, subscribe button on your way out. And we love you, and we'll see you soon. Take care now.
All right, peace.
Bye-bye. All right.